Alright, welcome back to Full Throttle TV and the Blackwater Products USA Truck Series. Tonight we've got the Gateway 150, some short track action reminiscent of last week. I'm Dean Doucette. In the booth with me, Mr. Brad Patterson. Brad, should be a lot of fun out here at Gateway.
Yeah, absolutely. Very challenging track here tonight. You know, like you said, a little bit just over a mile track. These guys are going to have to be hard on the brakes. They're going to have to take care of their equipment all night long. And, you know, we might even see a little bumping and banging with a little short track racing.
We just might out here. You know, these corners are really tricky, so I'm expecting maybe exactly that, a little beating and banging out here. Let's check in on our race info for the night. Weather 83 degrees out. We got our keys to the race. Cornering big here at Gateway. You know, the guys try and do it a little different, some kind of diamond it, some kind of try and go high to low. There's high line, low line. It's going to be tricky out there tonight, and that leads us to passing. Will there be a little bumping and banging trying to make those passes? And of course, as always, Brad, pit strategy going to be big. It always is.
Absolutely. You know, we've seen this in the past where coming to pit road just 1 or 2 laps earlier can really gain you a significant track advantage as far as the time on the track, and also just getting on and off a track, a pit road, if you will, of this link with the track this short. You know, you got to get in there clean, and you got to make sure you get all your service and get back out.
Yeah, exactly correct. Let's take a look into the championship standings, because there's, you know, only 2 races left here. Guys are trying to get in pretty bad. Of course, Bobby Terrell in the lead there. You see our winners in green, and if they're in the top 25, they are locked in. So, I mean, we got a lot of locked in guys, and I'll defer to Brad here a little bit about some of the guys that are close to the bubble that are in, and maybe the 1 or 2 guys who can still race their way in.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Right now, we're looking at that 42 in McDaniels. You know, he's currently going to be on the inside. You're going to have Troy Torgerson. He's right there. And then you're going to have Joe Flanagan. Those guys are currently locked in our points with the top 16. But right there on the outside, you're going to have the likes of somebody like a Mannix Richey or a Kevin Rupert, you know, Sherwood Williford as well. I mean, those guys are all within striking distance. Probably Rupert and Richey the closest, you know, respectively 28 points back and 31 points to the back. But, you know, with that being said, you know, the likes of anybody from Randy McCanny, Andrew Politsky, Spear, Solari, Vrooman, TJ Bartel, any one of these gentlemen pull off a victory here tonight, they've, you know, all but guaranteed themselves a spot in that top 16.
Yeah, I mean, a victory would do it. That would be so awesome for someone and bad for others. And of course, next week we got Daytona. Anything can happen there, Brad. So these are a couple of big races. This one in tonight, if you got a hooked up car, you like this track, you got to get it done here at Gateway. This is going to be something else. Right now, looks like Claude Furlan going to be on top of the board, and Richie Coy, Tim Bills right there, as qualifying is still going on, about to wrap up. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we should be getting close to lining these things up.
are back at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, where the field is rolling out for the start of today's 400-lap race on this .625-mile racetrack. And just as the field comes all around turn number 4, the sunshine peeks through, helping warm things here. Bill Elliott leads him down. Benny Parsons on the outside. The green flag flies, and the first Union 400 Winston Cup race from North Wilkesboro is underway. Everybody nicely through turns number 1 and 2 as Bill Elliott has the lead and Dale Earnhardt has jumped into second position, followed by Benny Parsons and Bobby Allison. So here we go. It's just about to go away. They both coming out of turn 4. Earnhardt gets the lead. We had just heard from our spotters that Neil Martin. Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win. Dale Earnhardt wins the first Union 400 at North Wilkesboro.
They're out here forming up. We're going to have to do a quick grid here. You see Furlan and Coy up front, Bills and Terrell, Carr, McDaniel, Flanagan in person, Nearad and Bartel, your top 10. Man, oh man, we're ready to go racing here already, Brad. Unbelievable. Furlan and Coy leads them down. The green flag is away. Here we go.
Absolutely. It looks like Furlan's going to lead him down to the green. Furlan's going to have the preferred line. That's going to be the inside of the racetrack. He's going to have Richie Coy just to the outside. Looks like he's actually going to be able to get clear of the 19. He's also going to bring that 77 and Tim Bills looking to the inside of the 19 as well.
Yeah, Tim Bills is there. Jared Carr already looking to make a move as well. Bernard Person right in the mix as well. Furlan looking strong up front though, and you can tell these guys battling back here. This is allowing him to get away. Someone in the wall there.
Yeah, that's going to be the 19 of Richie Coy. Just got a little bit of piece of the wall on the exit there. He's going to drop several positions, probably about 4 or 5 positions. Going to settle himself back, and it looks like the 6th position going to continue to lose a little bit of ground to the 8 into the wall off the front of the 42.
Wow.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Carnage on the track, taking out a ton of good trucks here. Oh my goodness. Let's get a quick replay in on this. You see the 8 down low there, going underneath Bobby Terrell. He just gets loose a little bit, overcorrection into the wall. Coy's involved. The 42 gets involved. Flanagan's involved. All these guys back here look okay.
Absolutely, and I do want to correct myself on that. From the way that the 8 just snapped, I thought that the 42 did get in the back of him, but it does not look like the case. The 8 just being extremely loose, and the 42 unfortunately just got collected in that.
My goodness, you see Flanagan involved. That's got playoff implications. That's very uncharacteristic out of the 8. You know, Brad, we don't see many mistakes out of him. Here he is early on, just got a little bit loose, and you can see how it jumps up to the wall when you make that correction.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, cold tires, just not air pressure's up. One thing you did talk about Flanagan, you know, coming down the pit road, getting a little bit of damage. Then I do see the 98 coming down pit road as well. So I got to sit there and think that Torgerson got a little bit of damage in that. That's going to be good for the 53, as those two are the closest as far as the battle for the top 16.
check in. We got a couple of fans out there rooting on Dale. Let's have a look in on Dale Nearrad. Already up 4 spots, part of Bandit Racing, running that familiar 03 truck. He's looking good tonight here, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. Dale's starting to really make a name for himself here in this series, getting some consistent top tens. We do see that a little bit of damage, did get some damage in that incident on the front of that race truck, as looks like the right side has a little bit of a damage, a little wrinkle there. And then right behind him, you're going to have the 60 of Mannix Richey and the 08 of Sylvan Jolly as well, with some front end damage from that incident.
See if we can get a little peek at that. You can see some of that damage there on Jolly. Shouldn't be too bad here on the short track, though.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the good things here. A little bit of aerodynamic damage isn't necessarily going to end your night. What they do have to worry about, though, is whether or not they have a little bit too much tape and overheating throughout the night, especially being bunched up on the back of these cars that we currently are. We did start the field tonight with 21 cars on the track.
That's a great point. That tape does come into play more and more these days, and they're going to have to watch that for sure.
Oh, absolutely. These guys are extremely aggressive when it comes to the amount of tape that they put. A tenth of a second, a half a tenth or something like that is something that these guys are going to really shoot for. I mean, everybody's really trying to get everything they can, and 1 degree of tape could mean the difference between blowing it up and heading to the garage early versus, having to come down pit road and get that taken off.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Right now it's Furlan, Bills, Carr, Terrell, and Nearrad, your top 5. It's good to see Furlan back up here leading. He was doing so good early on the season. Looks like he's found his wheelhouse again. We're about to go green. Furlan and Bills up front.
Green flag, green flag.
Looks like Furlan's going to have another great start from that bottom lane. It looks like he's going to be able to clear the 77 and 10 Bills. 57 of Jared Carr. He's going to try to make his way to the inside of the 77 there. He's going to be there. The question is will he have enough momentum to clear the 77 on the backstretch?
Jared Carr looking very racy out here tonight early on. Bill's powering through, though, keeps that spot. Back, you got Kenneth Schultz with his teammate Kevin Rupert. They're side by side, and behind them it's Allen and Spear.
You got Spear right there. Then you got Flanagan. Flanagan trying to make his way back up from the early incident. Flanagan started 7th on the night. Currently looking like he's in the 15th position. He's going to be trying to work to the outside of the 33 of Sherwood Williford, and then he's going to set his sights right in front of him with the 83. That's going to be Jason Spear, and the 11 of Tony Slayer.
Heavy traffic pack here, very hard to get through right now. We look back up front. Jared Carr trying to make a move for 2nd place on Tim Bills.
Jared Carr getting a little bit loose there on the top side. He's going to lose the front end of that racetrack. You see, both of them are going to slide up. It's going to allow Tim Bills to just get away, and that's going to put the 57 in the clutches of the 4 of Bobby Terrell.
Wow, he drove it in there deep. Great job by Tim Bills avoiding him and going up the track there, and he's going to hold that spot. Carr now trying to regroup. Terrell all over him. Nearrad's in there. Jolly's sticking his nose in as well.
Yeah, you see just that happen. They ran right up on the 57, and they did what any gentleman racer, if you will, would do. Kind of give him a little bit of room, let him collect his truck, but that brought a couple of new players to the battle right there as the 77, or I'm sorry, the 03 of Nearrad and the 08 of Sylvan Jolly all over the back of that 4 truck.
Yeah, Bobby known for his long run ability. Here in the short run, though, he can be gotten, and some of these guys trying to do just that. Right now, everything kind of settling down. Furlan and Bill starting to walk away a little bit. They've opened up about a 1.5 seconds over 3rd place Jared Carr.
Yeah, they continue to just pull away a little bit at a time. Right now, Furlan looks like he's going to be the quicker of the two. Actually, I take that back. Last time, Tim Bills was just slightly faster than Claude Furlan. You got to sit there and wonder if it's a matter of Furlan just racing the racetrack or just mining the gaps, if you will, back to Tim Bills. And then we got about another second and a half back to the 57 of Jared Carr. I got to sit there and think that right now, these front two trucks are going to be the class of the field. They're going to do everything they can, but the 77 continuing to just slowly reel in that 44 of Furlan.
Yeah, let's hop on board with Tim Bills, get a look at what he's doing out here. He's been awful good lately. You see, driving in kind of deep, almost diamonding that corner here, Brad.
Yeah, it really is. And, that's one characteristic of a track like this. Drivers will run totally different lines. You have some guys that do more of a traditional diamond of the racetrack. And then you see somebody like right there in front of him, Furlan, he goes in a little bit higher. He's just going to run kind of the center of the corner, get a little bit better exit. And what you have to really wonder is ultimately which of these two styles will wear the tires less, because as these laps continue to tick off, you're going to see which one will ultimately have the advantage.
Yeah, definitely the tire wear, and I like to say, like, it's again a tale of two corners. These are two different corners, very different actually, and you got to ride them different. And I'm not sure if these guys have made the adjustments fully yet, and we'll see. But Bill's right up on the back end now.
Yeah, one thing for sure, just riding on board with Bills. Bills is being a lot more aggressive going into the corner, just driving it deeper into the corner, making up a lot of distance on that 44, it looks like. But from center off is where the 44 has a little bit better grip, and is able to kind of pull it back away. And then Bills is having to just drive it in deep again to get right to the back end.
We kind of seen it there, Brad. Bill's got a little loose on exit there. Didn't cost him much, but it just seems like these are two different setup styles completely. Now, what would driving it in deep, what does that do to your car? What do you have to protect against as far as tire wear or just, pushy or loose, that kind of stuff?
But generally speaking, if you're going to drive it in deep, you're generally going to give a little bit away in the center of the corner where, the 44, it looks like he's just rolling the center a little bit better. He's getting in a little bit more control. He's setting up more for the exit, get through the center of the corner and be able to get to the throttle a little bit quicker and really just have the back end hook for you, if you will, where the 77 is just kind of driving it in deep into the corners, having to get it kind of turned, if you will, and we're seeing it now. I mean, the back end just kind of steps out because there's just not enough time for the weight really to transfer completely to be able to get those back tires hook up.
Yeah, great points as always. We check in on Carr. There you see him in front of Terrell. Back a little bit, you got Dale Nearad still in fifth place here, up 4 spots. Manix Riche doing all he can to get in the playoffs here. He's in 6th, up 5 spots. Held in 7th. Schultz in 8th. These guys both up a lot, as is Rupert in 9th, and then Flanagan rounded out the top 10.
Yeah, and don't sleep on that 57 of Jared Carr. Last lap he was faster than both of our leaders. And that could be just a matter of, having a little bit more freedom, if you will, being able to hit your marks, not necessarily as much stress or anything like that, as these leaders kind of looking in their mirrors, if you will. Jared Carr continuing to be one of the faster trucks on the racetrack.
Yeah, Jared Carr has really improved over this season. Just a much more rounded driver. And I expect him to be around here at the end of this thing. We look in the lap times. Terrell actually faster than Carr. Carr faster than our 2 leaders. So these guys in 3rd and 4th are coming back towards the front, Brad.
Yeah, I don't think it's any stretch of imagination to think, 20 laps into a race run that Bobby Terrell is going to be one of the fastest truck on the field. We've seen that all season right there. 57 getting a little bit high, starting to lose that front end. Maybe getting to the point where he's starting to abuse those tires or starting to pay for abusing those tires. But the Ford Bobby Terrell, we've said it time and time again, very smooth, very calculated driver, takes care of his equipment. And, the longer run is definitely something that suits him.
Yeah, Yeah, you never count him out, whether he's in fourth or in 10th. He'll be around at the end, and he's got a plan. We're only on lap 19 of 100. These guys looking to go at least halfway, Brad. So 50 lap run here, you really got to think about, those last 20 laps of that run.
They really do. And, kind of checking on our points battle, if you will, here. We're going to have the 98 of Troy Torgerson, currently in the 15th position, with the 42 of McDaniel, currently in the 16th. Now, these drivers came in separated by 1 point, and that would be McDaniel to the good to Torgerson. So right now, if you would, they would essentially be tied. That would be for I believe, the 15th position. So both of those drivers still currently in the top 16. But, going into this race, who's in 14th versus 15th right now? A dead heat.
Yeah, and the other story, of course, going to be what can Mannix Richer make up? He's got a ton of ground and not a lot of points to gain, Brad. He's got to gain a good 14 points here tonight over one of these guys. I'm not sure if there's enough time or races left to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a 28-point deficit to Joe Flanagan. Flanagan currently sits back, 2 places further back. Richer in 6th, Flanagan currently in 9th. But like I said, Flanagan has a 28-point lead over Mannix Richer. Right now, Richer, you got to think that he's sitting there eyeballing that win and trying to do everything he can to get there, like all of these drivers do week in and week out. But definitely one of those things where he's going to need a little bit of help if he thinks he's going to be able to point his way into this.
Yeah, win would be big, of course, and we got here and Daytona. Those are your chances to grab a win. The big lottery next week. I mean, anybody can win at Daytona. I mean, it's not like it isn't skill based, Brad, because it is. But a lot of guys will have a shot next week at it.
Oh, absolutely. And we talk about a plate restrictor plate track or anything like that, we got to obviously look at our top 20, 25, and a name that comes to mind right there is the gentleman currently sitting in our 23rd position in points. That's going to be Jason Spear. Spear, obviously a very well-known plate driver, and he is part of Spear Motorsports, so you figure that team will definitely be working to try to get Jason Spear the win at a plate track, which they're very capable of doing, and that would be enough to put him into this championship hunt.
Yeah, absolutely. Team Spear over there, some of the best at super speedway racing. They work well together. They get good setups. They know what they're doing. So he's got a real shot next week. But he's looking at tonight. He's up 5 spots on the night. Just ahead of him, Lane Allen up 9 spots on the night in 11th. You got a little group of cars here, or trucks, about 5 of them kind of together, Brad, and it is so hard to make moves out here.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, no better place to see that is right now out front. You got Furlan, you got Tim Bills, and we're starting to see a little bit of a change off, if you will, a tire wear. It seems the 44 getting extremely loose going into the corners. Coming out of the corners, we're seeing a little bit of tail wag, if you will, out of the back of that 44. Not able to put the grip down as maybe use the tires up a little bit. 77 right there does the same. But the closing gap is definitely there. I mean, Tim Bills is there every single lap.
Yeah, he is all over him. And now what about the effect of him being right on the bumper? Is that going to affect Furlan? Is that going to affect his truck as well?
Well, I mean, as far as affecting Furlan, you got to think he's probably looking in the mirror a little bit, doing a little bit of mirror driving, or just, trying not to make a mistake, knowing that the 77 is right there, Tim Bills. At the same time, you lose visibility being that close on a driver, if you will, going into the corners. You miss your mark a little bit. At the same time, he's doing everything he can to try to make his way by, and he can overuse his tires as well and heat them up. I think right now, honestly, the catbird, that's going to be the 57 of Jared Carr or that 4 of Bobby Terrell. I mean, I'm never going to count Terrell out.
Yeah, Terrell, you can never count out for sure, but Jared Carr really looking good out here. Made an early move, kind of cost him some time, but he's gathered it back up here. Now, within a second of our leaders, Jared Carr is definitely on the move. Fastest man on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, big thing with him is he has all the racetrack to use. He can dictate his line. It's not going to be dictated by anybody in front of him. The biggest thing he needs to do is just stay patient and just not overwork that truck and allow the two guys in front of him to really just race it out and let them, let them race himself to the point where he can just close in.
Absolutely. And it looks like that's exactly what he's doing. I'm not seeing any wiggles out of that truck. Nice and smooth right now for the 57 of Jared Carr.
Yeah, as our leaders, Claude Furlan, we're getting ready to get into a little bit of lap traffic because he's getting ready to close in on the back of the 40. That's going to be TJ Bartel. TJ involved a little bit in that incident early on, I believe. Got a lot of heavy damage to the front of that race truck. Furlan going to be able to come right up to the back of him, and then there's going to be quite a bit of gap. We're going to have about a 6-8 second gap until we get to the 8 of Bernard Person. So we're still going to have quite a few laps before we get into any other lap traffic here.
Yeah, sad to see TJ out there struggling tonight with that damage. He's been doing great this year. You see Carr coming underneath him here.
Yeah, Carr continuing to close that gap. I mean, he's closing about a tenth to 2/10 a lap right now. And what's impressive, he's doing that and pulling away from the 4 of Bobby Terrell at the same time.
Yeah, Bobby not laying it down quite yet. We're almost 30 laps in to this run. Look for them to do 50, probably go a couple over. Most of these guys like to do that. But you see him a little bit loose on exit there.
Yeah, braking is so important on a track like this, being able to just really be smooth on and off the brakes. Make sure you get the truck pointed in the right direction. Make sure you get rotation in the center of the corner. The truck, make sure it's straight coming off. That way you can put the power all the way down. As we saw that time, Jared Carr lose about 2/10 of a second. I got to sit there and think that was heavily due to the fact that he was trying to get around TJ Bartel. So, lap traffic, even if they're trying to get out of your way, they're still going to cost you a little bit of time.
Yeah, and often what will happen is they see the leaders come, they'll let the leader and maybe a car with them go, but they're not going to continue to let everybody go at that same amount of ease. So you might struggle a little bit more. That's why it's important to get up there and be right on the bumper of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Other races, the only person that's going to put up a fight is you're going to put up a fight with the leader to try to keep on the lead lap. And generally speaking, second place guy pulls up on you. You're like, yeah, just go on by. I'm already lapped at that point. So it's definitely one of those instances where it can definitely hold you up. But right now, the next group, we're going to have Richie Coy and Bernard Person. These are the next guys getting ready to go lap down. I mean, we're talking about Richie Coy sitting on the outside of the front row, and Bernard Person starting 8th. Two guys that going into this race is like, they're potential winners. And unfortunately, that lap, I believe it was lap 3 incident, caught these guys up, and ultimately, it looks like it's going to end their night with a result that they weren't looking for.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. The likes of Person and Coy back here fighting to stay on the lead lap. Now, I don't know how much they're going to give up. They're professionals. I'm sure they'll give up, to the leaders, but they don't want to go a lap down, Brad.
No, absolutely not. We look at Furlan and Bills. I mean, they're right there with each other. You pick the wrong lane. If you're the 44, if you're Furlan, you choose the high line, and all of a sudden one of the guys just pushes just slightly, and makes you have to check up. You'll lose the lead, and both of these guys, if they don't do it right, Jared Carr, he's a second back, not even 8/10 of a second to Tim Bills. They give up just a little bit in Jared Carr, and we're going to have a 3-way battle here.
Most definitely. We check in on Manix Riche, who's trying desperately to fight into the playoffs, still in 6th. He's right there with Nearad, but can't quite get close enough to make a move, as both of these guys are doing a nice job back in 5th and 6th. Behind them, it's Kenneth Schultz. He is now up 11 spots. Then Flanagan recovering from that early incident, and he's looking good. We're seeing some smoke on the track out there.
Yeah, that's going to be that 08 of Sylvan Jolly. It looks like a little worse for wear. We talked about it earlier with tape and front end damage. He's got a ton of front end damage on the machine of that 08. Looks like maybe possibly a little bit too much tape in that engine might have let go.
Wow, That is so unfortunate for Jolly. His teammate, though, Furland, out here leading. Him and Bill's going by Bernard Person right now. Person letting them by. It looks like Furland did just a little bit better. He's going to grab a few truck lengths here, lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going through that corner, if you will. Tim Bills needed just a little bit, a little couple of feet getting through the center, but unfortunately didn't have it. As the 8 was right next to him and did just enough of a damage, if you will, to give up that little bit of a distance. And then the 77, we saw him coming off the corner there, getting all sorts of loose, not being able to get the back end of that truck hooked up. But I really don't know where to go with this. I don't know out of the top 3 who's the fastest truck. I mean, you got to sit there and think, if you're the 57 of Jared Carr, pit strategy could really come into play. I mean, you pit a lap or 2 early. That could be all you need.
I mean, yeah, passing's so tough here. I mean, why not? You got to try something. Jared Carr does like the short pit, so he might just try it. We're on lap 37 of 100. Claude Furland, your leader. He is doing an excellent job. Tim Bill's hanging with him, and Carr slowly, very slowly stalking these guys and closing up.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget, Jared Carr 3rd in points right now, Furland 5th, and Tim Bill's 9th. I mean, they're playing with house money at this point. I don't think anybody can catch them. They got the wins. They're in the playoffs. Right now, it's all about those bonus points, if you will.
Yes, it is. That's all they're racing for, is bonus points. And the best way to get them is to win this thing. You check in on Bobby Terrell. He works around Bernard Person there. Behind them, Nearrad still in 5th, and Riche still chasing. Everything's status quo right at the moment. Check back in this battle with Rupert. Lane Allen throws it in there deep. Wow, that was close.
Yeah, that was close. Lane Allen had to jump on the brakes a little bit. You saw that, but what that did is that brought that 83 of Jason Spear right up on the back of it. That 14, though, extremely loose on the corner, not able to really get the power down. We're seeing right now, several trucks throughout the field, just not being able to put the power down on the exit. A lot of trucks just starting to lose the rear end.
Yeah, seen a lot of wiggling off the corners out of everybody at this moment.
Yeah, we're looking on our points battle here. McDaniel obviously able to pull away just a slight bit from Torgensen. Right now, McDaniel in the 13th position. Torgensen currently in the 15th. So what that's going to do, I believe, is that's going to actually do a little bit better. Let me check on this. That's going to be able to let McDaniel pull away just slightly from Torgensen, but the big one that we're looking at is going to be Flanagan and Mannix Riche, currently only separated by 1 position on the track. That's just not going to be enough. Mannix Riche going to need a little bit of help if he's going to be able to get by Flanagan on the point side.
Yeah, he was pretty much in a must-win if he can't gain a bunch of points tonight. Check in on that other battle again. Sorry, it looks like Adam Newton out here. He's starting to get chased down by Sherwood Williford.
Sherwood, oh, actually, it looks like, not to take it away, the 42, McDaniel, up in smoke, coming to pit road. Looks like that engine may have let go. That's going to be the end, and that's going to be definitely points.
All right, man.
Caution on the racetrack as well.
Caution comes out, and that is going to be caused by McDaniel stopping prior to pitting, I believe. So that's interesting here. Caution will come out on lap 42, and we're going to have pit stops. And this is going to shake everything up here. I think the guy who loves this the most is probably Jared Carr.
Yeah, Jared's going to have a great position, going to be able to, we're assuming, going to be able to line up in the top 4. But, I mean, we've seen times where even on, yellow flags, these guys come in and they overshoot that box. They don't get there, and all of a sudden they lose 4 or 5 spots. Jared Carr not able to close up right now. He's going to be able to close up right on the back of the 77. But at the same time, we know Bobby Terrell. He makes great in-race adjustments.
And look at Bills making a move on pit road. Darts down to the inside of Furland. This could be tricky, trying to get into the stalls. Let's see what happens here.
It should be okay because Furland's going to be about 2 pit stalls further ahead of Tim Bills. But definitely one of those questionable moves.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know how to call it. I thought it's a good aggressive move, but trying to get to the inside of them, encourage people to stay to the right, it's going to be questionable, but it all works out so far. We'll see who wins out. Bill's on the left side's first. He's down and away. Here comes Furlan. Furlan going to beat him out.
It's close. That was a very close exit.
Man, it really, really was. We see John Held down here. Torgenson's down there. Adam Newton in the 3. He's looking like he's got some damage here on the right side of that truck.
It looks like our top 6 is pretty much going to stay the same. Just kind of going through the field here, making sure I don't see anybody that maybe could have got some sort of a penalty or anything like that. I do believe Richie Coy will be our lucky dog, possibly. Oh, Tim Bills. Tim Bills dropping in the field. I have to think that he got a pit road speeding penalty. We talked about it early on as Tim Bills falling to the back of the field right now. Mistake on pit road is exactly what you don't need, especially at a track like this, hard to pass.
Wow, that aggressive move from the 77, trying to gain a little spot on pit road. Couldn't get it done, cost him a penalty, possibly the race. I mean, he's going to drop back to at least 14th, 15th place.
Yeah, and you talked about it, who this caution you thought benefited the most. That was going to be that 57 of Jared Carr. All of a sudden, Jared Carr, he's going to be sitting on the outside of the front row.
Unbelievable drama. Pit road, always one of the keys. Tim Bills has basically taken himself out of this, and Carr has been inserted. I mean, he was already in it, but now he's really in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got Bobby Terrell right there. You got the 03 and Nearad. You still got Mannix Richey. I mean, we know that he's going to be doing everything he can to try to get this win, because he's pretty much at that spot where he's got to really win to be in, if you will, as far as these playoffs. Flanagan's going to be up there. I think the thing, if you're going to be Joe Flanagan, I think you just really got to take care of that truck. You can't afford to lose the race as far as damage or anything like that. I mean, you've seen what happened to McDaniel earlier. He's currently shown in the 19th position. He's retired for the night. He's going to take a heavy points hit. And that's exactly what somebody like a Mannix Richey needed. I mean, if McDaniel has 2 bad races back to back, that might open up the door for somebody like a Mannix Richey.
It just might. But Flanagan, what a recovery. Up now into 6th place. I mean, great pit stop. He had a great run after that incident early in the race. He is right back in contention here.
It looks like Tim Bills is going to end up all the way back in the 15th to 17th position, as scoring hasn't quite caught up, as everybody's still making their way around, and we got lucky dogs and everything like that. But definitely the kiss of death right now, at least for that 77.
It does look like Coy might have been that lucky dog. I'm not quite sure about that. But here we go. It's Furlan and Carr up front. Terrell and Nearad in row 2.
Yeah, and this is going to be a very interesting restart. We've seen it all season long. That 57 of Jared Carr, extremely aggressive, and he's going to get a great restart about halfway. Furlan not able to really clear like he's done previously, as Carr's going to be on that top side. Expect Jared Carr to fall in line right behind the 44.
Carr staying on the high side. Furlan giving him the room to work up there. This battle's going to rage on.
And how about that 03 of Dale Nearad? He was able to, looks like, almost clear the 4 of Bobby Terrell's. Car's going to get to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to leave the 03 of Dale Nearad working the top side. These top 3 are really putting in the time. Right behind that, you're going to have that 60 of Mannix Richey clearing the 53 of Flanagan.
Wow, these guys racing hard, knowing it's hard to pass. They're trying to get what they can get here. Flanagan to the inside. And we got a caution on the track.
That's exactly what that 77 of Tim Bills needed. He was able to make up a couple of spots. Looks like he's going to be currently in the 16th position. And then a quick caution. That's exactly what he needs as far as trying to just get back into contention here.
Not sure what happened. We're going to look back around Tim Bills here. He goes underneath Adam Newton, putting it 3 wide, heading down into 1. I don't think that's going to work. And yes, it doesn't. A little piece of the 3 getting a little piece of the 11 of Tony Solari there. That sends him around. I mean, just tough racing going 3 wide down into 1, Brad.
Yeah, I mean the best way to say that's frustration. Um, it's one of those deals where I don't think it's really a fault of the 3 or anybody like that. I mean, you get put 3 wide on a 1.2 mile track, you're gonna do everything you can not to wreck anybody. Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, the guys that involved in the incident didn't necessarily. They got put in bad situations, put it that way.
Yeah, tough all around. I mean, 3 wide, not a whole lot of room. You just got inches to deal with, so we'll let the admins work out that. But Furlan and Carr are going to have another go. Carr did do a nice job there, Brad, on the outside. He was hanging right with Furlan.
Yeah, it really was. You know, what this does do is it allows a couple of cars that needed a little bit of damage to get fixed, get back on the lead lap. You know, we see Adam Newton coming to pit road. We see Bernard Person coming to pit road. You know, they're going to get a little bit more damage fixed on the race truck. They're going to get 4 fresh tires, I'm assuming, because, you know, we do have a tire limit, but at a race like this, you know, you got 4 sets. So, heck, 3 laps on the tires? Yeah, give me more. Why not?
And Brad, do we have Dale Nearrad? Did he drop out? What has happened to Dale Nearrad?
They're saying that he's been gone. He hasn't officially dropped, and there he goes right there. Yep.
Wow, how unfortunate. Had a couple of people out here rooting him on tonight, and he was having a heck of a race, moving up all race long. Was going to be a contender here at the end. Unfortunate connection issues there, and he'll be done, I would imagine. If he comes back, he'll be several laps down. So unfortunate.
Yeah, we've seen this throughout this entire season. You know, some drivers doing extremely great in the racetrack, and then unfortunately, a situation like that happens. You know, Richie Coy is one of those drivers that I think of when it comes to that. You know, we've seen him several times in the top 5 battling, and then all of a sudden having connection issues. Down near Rad, obviously. So, you know, there's so many ways to lose a race, and there's only one way to win a race, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We look in on the accentled.com, guys. You see Riche back and forth. Furland, of course, your leader. Jolly, I think, done for the evening, but these two doing a great job. They got people out here on Facebook rooting them on, and they're a great bunch of guys. I mean, we spent some time talking to them, and they're racing. I mean, these are a very quality group of racers, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, one thing that we always forget, they're rookies. All of these guys are rookies this season. You know, that entire team is brand new to the FTSR. They're brand new to the Blackwater Motorsports team here as far as the season and everything like that. And these guys have just put on a show. You know, Furlan dominating early on, you know, had a points lead for several races, and really they've done themselves justice. They've come in, they've earned the respect of their competitors, and they've also shown that, you know, they are a force to be reckoned with. And we're not even to that final playoff contention, but I gotta sit there and think that, you know, they will be represented very well.
Yeah, they definitely will be. And you know, you talked about rookies. They're not the only ones over here at Full Throttle Sim Racing. Chock full of great rookies out here. I mean, there's 4, 5, 6 top-notch rookies racing out here. We don't give them maybe the due they deserve, but right now, Furlan leading the way. He's going to lead Jared Carr on the outside. Bobby Terrell now in the 3rd spot, and Riche in 4th. These guys are going to be looking to get everything they can.
Absolutely. I mean, behind that, we got Rupert, we got Schultz, we got Lane Allen. Lane Allen's up here. Jason Spear, we talked about him, you know, somebody that you got to look at as a proverbial favorite going into a plate track. You know, he's currently in the 9th position, so a little bit of momentum for these guys. Sherwood Williford, you know, later in this race, you see him moving up to the top just like he does all the time. Torgensen making his way up to the 11th position. So, you know, Torgensen, you know, doing what McDaniel couldn't. utilizing what's given to him, and ultimately he's going to be able to walk away a little bit better as far as the situation pointing his way into this championship.
All right, here we go. Green flag about to drop.
Green, green, green.
Furland and Carr take off. Again, Carr with a great job on the outside. They're going to stay side by side.
Now, one thing that time, though, you see that Ford Bobby Terrell, he was extremely aggressive getting into that corner, drove it in a lot deeper, made sure that he was going to be on the back of that bumper. It looks like Carr's going to fight extremely hard to the top side. They're going to be side by side going into 3.
Man, Carr is getting after it on the high side. Furland got all he can handle down low. The 57 looking like he's driving a little bit better on the high side. Come off the corner. Carr with the advantage. Wow, what a move out of the 57 here on the restart.
Yeah, Jared Carr able to just muscle by him right there. But one thing that we've seen it a lot. It's kind of the MO is just using up those tires extremely early, not being able to have the truck underneath you. But we've seen Jared Carr practice his patience, really work on it, trying to be just a little bit more well-rounded driver. And it's going to be put to the test right here, as we've seen that 44 being able to be out front all night. Will the 57 be able to just stay up front and just conserve those tires?
He might be able to do it. He's got Furland and Terrell, a long run guy, right behind that. Flanagan now in 4th. Richer in 5th. Richer's all over Flanagan looking for that spot. Then it's Rupert, another rookie who's doing just fantastic out here. Lane Allen, man, the 14 is up 13 spots. Schultz behind him up 10, as is Williford in the number 33.
And these guys continue to put on a show right now. It doesn't look like it, but these guys are fighting for every inch they got right now. They kind of have to go through a little bit of a spot where everybody's kind of equal. They're equal on tires, they're equal on grip. But you get about into the 5 or 6 laps, and that's where you're going to start seeing it. You're starting to see it right now with the 53 of Flanagan and that 60 of Richer. Richer able to work the bottom a little bit better than the 53 of Flanagan. Flanagan having to be up about a half a lane on the racetrack, as you see Richer just constantly trying to work to the inside. And really, you're starting to see different lines. We talked about earlier, guys that are better at diamonding the racetrack versus guys entering a little bit higher and trying to work through the center of the corner on the low side.
We got another battle. It's Tim Bills and Sherwood Williford. They're going at it out here as Bills trying to move back up through the field. Sherwood not going to give it up, and rightfully so. He is fighting hard on the outside. These guys really burning up a lot of their stuff here in this battle.
Yeah, absolutely. They're sitting there battling for the 10th position right now. They're almost 3 seconds back to our leaders now. You got to think, if they're battling this hard, if you're somebody like Tim Bills battling this hard to try to get to the leader, even if you get there, you won't have anything for him because you've used it all up just to get there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, you don't want to use up all this stuff. I don't think either one of them want to, but they're not going to give up the spot because they know as the run goes on, it only gets harder to pass. So you got to hold what you have back up front. Carr open up a little lead over Furland. Terrell right there. And then it's Flanagan and Richer. I mean, everybody pretty much in the same boat. A couple of trucks in between each truck.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I've been watching that Ford Bobby Terrell ever since he came off pit road. They're making some adjustments. That truck looks a little bit tentative right now, a little loose. So it's going to be interesting to see how that truck reacts on the long run, because right now it looks like he's just having to kind of tiptoe through it right now, which might be good as far as a long run scenario, but definitely short run speed. It looks like it's just a little bit too much of a handful right now for him.
Yeah, Bobby traditionally one of the best at making adjustments, so we'll see how that plays out as we go on here. Right behind them is Flanagan and Richer. Man, they've been together here for a while now.
They really have, and they're an interesting pairing to watch. I mean, just the different philosophies with the corner. You see they take totally different lines. It looks like right now the 53 is able to kind of pull away from Mannix Richer as Richer kind of starts to fall back to the clutches of the 1, but right there behind him, you're going to have the 14. That's going to be Lane Allen. You talked about him earlier, currently up 13 positions on the night. Doing a great job. He's starting to come to the field, and you know what? His truck looks like it's starting to actually come in.
Yeah, Lanes looks solid all night long. He's up 13 spots, our biggest mover on the track, and it's just so difficult to get through and by anybody. But you see him rolling the bottom just a little bit better than Kevin Rupert ahead of him. But there's, he's still trying to get the run off the corner. It's just so hard here.
Yeah, it really is. Behind him, you're going to have the 91 of Schultz, and then we're going to be right back at it. That's going to be that 77 of Tim Bills. Tim Bills only able to get back up to the 9th position. We know he has a fast truck, but we also know he's going to need a lot of help and probably a couple of cautions to really be able to have any type of contention. As Jared Carr continuing to pull away right now, he's amassed about a 7/10 of the second lead over Claude Furlan. And then you're going to have Bobby Terrell right behind that. The question is will that 57 be able to stand the test of time out front there? We got 39 laps to go. Will he be able to have enough stamina and basically the truck underneath him to be able to keep it out front?
Check in on Carr. You see that gap there? I mean, he is opening it up, and it's all about, can he keep it going? I think he can. He's looking really good out here tonight. Sharp looking 57 behind them. Furlan now under a little bit of heat as Terrell starts to move forward, as does Flanagan and Richer. So, I mean, this is getting tough, man, and Carr's looking better and better all the time here.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the big thing. Jared Carr wants to look in that mirror and he wants to see a battle right there. He wants to see the 44 and the 4 start battling for that position. If that does happen, you got to ultimately think that Jared Carr is going to be able to just kind of pull away a little bit further back from the field, though. That's going to be the 77. That's going to be Tim Bills working to the inside of the 91 of Kenneth Schultz. Move him up to the 8th position. Schultz still deciding to put it down on the outside, if you will, not willing to give it up yet. 77 extremely loose on the bottom, the 91 loose as well, but he's going to stay in it and still contest this position.
Man, oh man, they are fighting here. Nothing easy for the 77. He throws it in pretty good this corner. He might get clear. I think he will, yes. So now he's got Lane Allen, who is working on Kevin Rupert, but couldn't get it done. So nothing gets easier for the 77 here.
No, it really doesn't. I mean, he's going to have his, he's going to be tired at the end of this night for sure. He's going to try to have to pass every single person, if you will. He's going to have to work twice as hard. And what happens is you're going to get in a situation where, Lane Allen, I think he's going to be fixated on that one. And all of a sudden, it's going to be like, oh, where the heck did the 77 come from?
Yeah, exactly right. He's got them all, like a mirror full of them right now, and that's probably exactly what he's thinking. He's also thinking, well, I was going to say he's thinking I got to make a move before the 77 does, but 77 making that move right now.
Oh, slight contact possibly right there on the exit. They get real close on the exit. And that's not anybody's fault. That's just a part of this track. If you will, the 77 just goes in so deep and just kind of washes out a little bit in the corner. And 14 having to go a little bit higher to make sure that he doesn't get into the 77. You see the 77 just trying to do everything he can, hanging the back end of the racetrack out.
Man, he is working it. He is doing everything to get through this traffic. No holds barred. The 14 almost under him. Oh, we got caution. Looks like Kenneth Schultz. Let's get a quick look in on this.
That's exactly, if you're Tim Bills, that's what you needed. He was able to get himself back up into the 7th position. We're far enough into this run, I think, we got about 15, 20 laps that everybody's going to come to pit road.
Wow, and that was a strange incident there. You see the 91 come into the corner, and maybe a shifting mistake. I'm not sure here, Brad, but he comes in and about mid-corner, looks like a shift. Just kicks that car out of whack. He scrapes the side of the 33.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I'm following on in camera, if you will, and all of a sudden the RPMs are up, and exactly, I think what you said. A little shift and lost the rear end of that truck.
So pit stops happening here. These are big. We've seen what happened to the 77 last time. Nobody else going to attempt this as they go in single file. Carr leading them down, and these are huge. You cannot make a mistake. Can't drive through your stall. Got to hit your marks just perfect here.
Absolutely. I mean, if anybody needs to be a little bit more passive, I got to sit there and think that it's the 53 of Flanagan. Flanagan's the only driver up front not playing with house money, if you will. Mannix Richey, he's the guy that's going to have to try to really, make up time, if you will, here. And if anybody's going to have to try to, cut it close, it's going to be the 60 to make up time, where the 53's got to guard his lead right now. Everybody else in the top three, in my opinion, they're playing with house money.
See Furlan with that first stall. Ooh, I don't know. He might have beat Terrell out. No, it looks like Bobby Terrell going to win that road and grab second place here. So going to be Carr, Terrell, Furlan, Flanagan, and Richey, your top five. Then Rupert, Allen, Jason Spear, nice job, up to 8th. Torgensen in 9th. Tim Bills comes out in 10th. More pit problems for the number 77.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like maybe a little bit of adjustment or something like that. But, we see this week in and week out, that 4 truck, just making adjustments. And it looks like, well, at least currently on the racetrack, it looks like the 44 came back around the 4. So he might have actually beaten the 4 out. But the one thing they don't want to do is just keep allowing that 4 to adjust on that racetrack.
Yeah, you're exactly right there. He's so good at it. But you're right, the 44, I thought he nudged him out there at the line. And then I thought they gave it to Bobby because he was out front. But there you go, Furlan in second, still going to fight. He's going to have to do what Carr did to him and race him hard on that outside.
One thing for sure is that we know is nobody in this top 5 is worried about racing hard. And that's kind of problematic at the same time. If you're the 53 of Flanagan, I think you've got to kind of play it a little bit conservative. Our top 3, they're pretty much locked into the playoffs. They can go for broke. Mannix Richey, we know he needs a win to really get in. Right now, if you're Joe Flanagan, though, you've got to kind of hedge your bet and just make sure that at the end of the day, that 53 is running in the top 10.
Yeah, he's got enough here. Even if Richey got around him, that's fine. It's only 1 point. I mean, it's just he's got a 26-point lead, I believe. So he just needs to hold that position. But yeah, he is on the bubble, and if someone wins next week, he could be bumped out.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, you got to look at it. McDaniel's disastrous night for him. He's going to end up finishing in the 19th position. The 53 of Flanagan, he's going to make up points on the 42.
Yeah, definitely there. It's could be Zach McDaniel in danger. It'd be interesting how this all plays out. Carr electing to go on the high side. I think that's a good call from Jared Carr. He's so good up there. And this is going to make it awful tough on Furlan, trying to not only stay with him, but grab that spot from the bottom.
Yeah, Carr's been great on the outside. Really been able to get the truck to hook up, especially on exit. But Furlan, his preferred line has been on the bottom. So it's going to be very interesting to, the timing of this restart to make sure that the 44 is going to be alongside of the 57 going into 1.
Yeah, timing is crucial here. Carr high. Furlan low, Terrell and Flanagan chasing. Here we go.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is down, and it looks like Furlan doing a really nice job on the bottom. They're going to head down into the corner, dead even here.
That's exactly what that 44 needed. He needed to be able to get through the center of the corner and hope that he can kind of pull away right now. He's not going to have it. The 57 battling back on the top side. He's going to have a little bit more room. So advantage right now going into 3 at least is going to be the 57. But Furlan, he's going to give it everything he can, because if the 57 gets clear, I don't think the 44 has got enough to get by him.
57 has Flanagan out there as well. Terrell down low is loose. That's going to bring Richey up to the high side.
The wall behind him.
We stick with our leaders here as this battle rages on. Wow, contact between Furlan and Carr. My goodness.
One's
All right,
around.
man.
Caution's
Caution
going
is
to be
out.
out.
Caution is out.
Kevin Rupert around.
Kevin Rupert going around as we had a couple incidents back there. Just too much heat up front to go and check it out. Let's get a replay on Kevin Rupert. You see him behind Bobby Terrell. He's right in the thick of this thing. There's Tim Bills diving it in. Tim Bills up the track, hits him once, hits him twice. That's also going to get Torgensen some damage. My goodness. So Bills, as he continues to work his way through the field, has really, been highly aggressive here. And Brad, that's, it's not going to sit well with a couple of guys out here.
No, it really won't, and it's not going to help him as far as later on in the championship, especially with a week like next week where it's all about teamwork. It's all about needing to have a friend, if you will. This is what happens. You got argumentatively a top 3 truck, one of the fastest 3 trucks on the field, but you make a mistake and you put yourself behind the 8 ball and. I don't want to say you run people over because that's not, indicative, if you will, but you put yourself in situations.
Yeah, well, I mean, he worked back up to about 6th place, then made a second mistake or something on pit road where he dropped to 10th. He is extremely fast, but I mean, a track like this, it's just so difficult. You got to be patient out there and take your medicine, if you will. So this is difficult times here for the 77 tonight. We've seen some great things out of him in the past, but right now this battle up front, my goodness. Carr and Furlan were putting on a show, and you got Flanagan managed to get into 3rd, Riche into 4th. Terrell falls back to 5th, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. And right there, we talked about him earlier, Lane Allen, I'm not going to sleep on him yet. I mean, we've seen it. It doesn't take much to really upset these trucks going around these corners. They're already loose on exit, a little bit of contact, and all of a sudden, we can have a totally different game here.
Well, we know the later you get in the race here, the more the intensity ratchets up, and we're going to have more of it here. I wouldn't be surprised to see another caution. It's so hard to be aggressive and hold your line on the bottom. I mean, you're going to float up, maybe get into someone. Man, this is going to get intense.
Absolutely. I mean, the biggest question here, for me at least, is if you're Joe Flanagan, you're sitting in 3rd. It's right there. You can taste the lead. How hard do you push it? I mean, this is risk versus reward right here. You could lock yourself in, or you could argumentatively almost take yourself out.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all on the line here as we've seen Adam Newton coming off pit road. Now we will see Bernard Persson coming on pit road. That truck not looking too damaged really in the 8.
Well, the 8 was just the beneficiary, if you will, of the lucky dog. So, love the call. Go ahead. It's a freebie. Go ahead, come down, get 4 fresh tires, get every bit of damage you can try to get repaired, and hey, maybe get a top 10 out of this.
Yeah, why not? You're back on the lead lap. I mean, you've got to show some restraint, though. I think some of these guys might just open the door, getting loose or having contact. So we're going to see what happens here. This is going to be entertaining, Brad.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the gloves are off. All of these guys can run 20, 25 laps, kind of full bore, without having to really worry about an excessive amount of tire wear or something like that. So, generally, we've seen probably lap 20-ish is when you start seeing guys fade and really make up some time. So it's going to be interesting, but we've seen it all night. Passing is a premium, and you can't give anything up on these resets, on these restarts. It looks like the 57 of Carr. He's going to opt to stay to the outside, and Furlan's going to be back to the inside. The difference is you're going to
Lost Mr. Patterson momentarily there, but it's going to be Furlan.
Teammate to Furlan now on the top side with Jared Carr.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Minix Riche starting behind Jared Carr, Furlan down low. Those teammates, we'll see if they work together in any fashion at all. but I mean, Carr is staying on that high side. I mean, it's great for Carr, but Furlan loves the bottom, so it's good for him too. We're going to see if he can stick with him once again.
Yeah, it's all about this restart, making sure you don't jump it, make sure you get the power all the way down, and really the center of the corner is where it is. If you drive in too deep into the 57, you're just going to sail right off, and you're going to have to check up to make sure you don't get into the wall on the exit of 2. So same thing with the 44. You drive in too deep, you can push up. So here we go.
Here we go. Carr on the high side. He's getting pushed by the 60 of Richer while his teammate tries to go down low. Side by side through 1. Furlan, a nice corner, but Carr gets that drive off the high side. They look pretty clean remaining side by side here, going down into 3.
Yeah, this is where I think it is, in 3 and 4, it's a much tighter corner. That's where the bottom line is generally going to prevail. It's just a matter of whether or not you're going to be able to turn the corner enough. And right now, Furlan makes up a little bit of distance to 57, a little bit of wiggle on the exit of the corner. They're still pretty much side by side going into 1 again.
Wow, what a race. Richer down to the bottom behind his teammate, but Furlan hanging in there. Carr just powering too much on the high side. He's going to take the lead or keep the lead. Great job by the 57. 44's got to regroup and see what he can do.
Yeah, you saw the 44 there, right there. Not able to get quite by the 57. Had to roll out of the throttle just a little bit to make sure he didn't get into the 57. That's all that Jared Carr needed. A little bit further back in the field, you're going to have the 77 of Tim Bills rocketing out past the 4 of Bobby Terrell. Right now, he's going to be looking to work on that 53 of Flanagan, dive into the inside.
Yeah, he's down there working Flanagan, giving him all kinds of room, but getting a great drive off. Flanagan going to hold him off for now. Bill's still searching. He's searching all over, Brad.
He is sending it. I mean, he's really trying to get everything he does. And, I got to sit there and think that might even be just a little bit of frustration. Not towards anybody else, just, one of those deals where you got a fast car, you got to make it up. But, hats off, I were looking on that 14 of Lane Allen, currently in the 4th position, up 16 positions. Hasn't really put a tire out at the wrong. Not a lot of damage on that truck, just been solid all night and consistent.
Yeah, he's had a really good race here. Hopefully he gets a good finish out of this. The 14 looking really good. Up front, though, Jared Carr opening up a little bit over Claude Furlan. Richer chasing in 3rd. A good night for Richer. This is what he needs to get in this points battle. And you see Lane Allen all over the bumper of him. Got Pepto Joe back here in 5th. He's had a really solid evening. I mean, he got caught up in that early wreck and, had to pit, but it's really made it up. He's come back. He's got bills all over him, and he's got to be a little concerned with the 77 all over his bumper.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the biggest thing with him. It's a matter of him trying to make sure he gets into this playoffs, and, the better part of value might be to just kind of pull over and let Tim Bills by. I mean, but right behind him, you're going to have the 4 of Terrell, and then you're going to have Sherwood Williford. Looks like you're going to have Spear, and then a battle right now going on between the 29 of John Held and the 1 of Kevin Rupert. Rupert bouncing back from that earlier incident.
All right, man. Caution is out.
Looks like 53 of Flanagan.
Oh, no! We got off it for a minute. We talked about it. Let's see what happened to Pepto Joe.
I hate to say it, but another truck off the front of the 77.
77 just been so aggressive on entry. Bam! And he just dives in there. I mean, that is a dive bomb by definition there, Brad, and that is not going to sit well. I mean, he's had a few of these tonight. Tim Bill is highly frustrated at that fast truck being back here, and Pepto Joe, that is huge for him. He falls all the way to 15th here.
Lane Allen, the first to pit road. That's a good move. I think, the top 3 stayed out. Lane Allen, the first truck. You're going to have Lane Allen, Tim Bills, Bobby Terrell, Sherwood Williford, all those guys coming to pit road where it looks like Carr, Furlan and Riche opting to stay out.
Wow, this is huge. They pitted on lap 67. That's 16 laps ago. These guys going to have fresh rubber behind them. Unbelievable. Looks like Rupert's going to stay out. Maybe Coy stays out as well. And Adam Newton. So fresh tires behind these guys. This is going to be something.
Yeah, I think we're going to end up with the top 6 on old tires. And then we're going to finally get into the 4 fresh tires. One thing, though, kind of concerned. I mean, we've seen it from fast trucks deep in the field just being extremely aggressive. Now you're going to have fast trucks with fresh tires deep in the field trying to get around slower trucks with old tires. So I don't think the cautions are quite done yet.
Wow, and we got Held and Schultz coming out in front of Bills, who beats Allen out. So Allen losing 3 spots on pit road there. Held and Schultz, looks like they might only took 2, Brad. Decisions all over the place. This is going to be something.
Oh, it's going to be something. I don't know if it's going to be good, but it's going to be something.
It could lead to some carnage. We're not sure, but I mean, out front, you got this battle between Carr and Furlan. Furlan's been doing great on the restarts, giving Carr all he can handle. Behind them, Richet's been great all night. He's had the points night that he needs, but now he's got Rupert, Coy, Newton, Held, and Schultz, I believe. Held and Schultz with 2 tires, Coy, Newton, and Rupert with no tires. I'm not sure what's going on out here, Brad, but this is going to be something to see. Some of these guys got an advantage over Carr and Furlan, but they got cars between them and the 4-tire guys. I think they're going to be all right.
Yeah, I think advantage right now is going to be actually on Jared Carr. I think he's got the truck to beat right now. We've seen it. I don't expect him to take the inside, if you will, for this restart. His truck's rolling really well on the top side. I think he's got Furlan by not a lot, but just a little bit, if you will. And I think ultimately, if he gets clear on this restart, he's going to have it. As far as the guys with fresh tires, you know, I mean, ultimately, you're looking at Tim Bills all the way back in 9th position. We're going to go back to green with, what, like 13 laps, maybe 14 laps to go. I'm not sure there's enough time, but at the same time, I'm not sure that we're done with cautions yet.
I'm not too sure about that either. And, you know, I don't want to continue to pick on Bills, but can he show some restraint here? I mean, he could be looking, you know, playoffs are coming, Brad, and we could be looking at a serious penalty, especially if he gets in another one. He's got to, you know, settle in here. There's only 15 laps left. You're not going to win this race from back there, I don't believe. So, I don't know. Highly entertaining nonetheless. Let's have a look at it. Carr and Furlan to lead them down. Riche and Rupert in row 2.
And you know what? We said that, but let's give credit where credit's due. And I want to focus in on that 19 before we come. You know, Richie Coy was involved very early on in his set. Currently in 5th position, has battled back. You know, is he going to finish in 5th? Probably not. Very highly damaged race truck. But he's had just an up and down season, and, you know, hats off to him for just continuing to fight through this tonight and, you know, made his way back into the 5th position and trying to get everything he can.
Absolutely. Great points there as Richie Coy just fighting to get everything he can after that early wreck. He had a great truck, and it's nice to see him up here. We'll see how this plays out. Here we go. Carr and Furlan going to duke it out one more time.
Teammates are going to be on the inside, and we saw the 60 Richet push. Carr, looks like he's going to try to give the 44 just a little bit of a shot there.
I think he did. He gave him a little shot, got him going. Furlan going to beat Carr to the corner, but Carr is so strong on the outside, powering around on that high side. My goodness, what a job by Jared Carr. He's going to come off here and grab the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. The lead is going to be right there to Jared Carr further back in the field, though. That's where it's going to be the calamity. It's going to be, I'm just kind of circling in, if you will, on 77, 10 Bills. John Held into the 3. Right now we're going to be 3 wide just behind him. That's going to be the 4, the 3 of Newton. Newton having connection.
Oh, and Bills is around, and he's got Spear. Lane Allen involved.
He's got Flanagan as well. Flanagan involved.
Flanagan again. Oh my goodness. Let's get a look in on it and see what happened. 77 down low. Something had already occurred there a little bit. He's down low right in front of him. Held's a little loose. 77 just breaks loose on his own. Back up the track. Flanagan with a huge lick, as is Lane Allen and Jason Spear. Heavily damaged. Spear's night is done. Allen's night is done. Whew, my goodness.
Yeah. He won't be popular in the garage tonight. I mean, very solid driver. I mean, very good driver too. Don't let it fool you. We all have bad nights, but tonight, yeah, a little too aggressive.
I agree. A high quality driver, but just not his night tonight. And is that Jared Carr coming down pit road?
I think it is.
What is going on? Jared Carr coming into the pits. This is a huge mistake. Manix Riche follows him in. Claude Furlan going to be your leader. And we weren't live, but we caught that happening on replay.
And even Riche beats Carr out of pits.
What is going on? Riche beats Carr out. I'm so perplexed right now. Riche with a 2-tire stop or a no tire. I'm not sure what Riche is doing with only 10 laps left here. And Jared Carr now going to be in 13th position. Virtually no chance at victory here with this limited amount of laps. This is a shocking development.
Yeah, some of these drivers aren't going to take the green. I mean, Lane Allen heavily smoking, unfortunately. The 83 at Jason Spear heavily smoking. So he's going to move up a couple. Enough to get the win. I mean, I ain't going to say it, but maybe some cash exchange, a little bit of hands there,
I don't know about the cash exchange, but
that's just one of those deals that you got to sit there and say, one of those things that make you say,
There's a lot of hums going on here right now.
I'll tell you what, there's a very aggressive driver right there in that one, and Kevin Rupert. We saw him earlier involved in a little bit of an incident, and he is not going to be afraid to throw that into turn one to try to capitalize on this mistake by Jared Carr. And, Furlan, he's vulnerable. We've seen on the top side that he's not able to clear the car up top. So, Rupert could have a shot. We could have an outside spoiler here, if you will.
I'm a little bit speechless here on what we're seeing on the track. I have no idea why Jared Carr would pit only 2 laps later after not pitting. Just totally perplexed. But Furlan out here in great shape. Rupert has got a great chance here to grab a win. And look at Richie Coy, 3rd place. Held in 4th. Bobby Terrell 5th. I mean, Coy back into 3rd place. He's got to be ecstatic.
Oh, absolutely. And we say it week in and week out. Bobby Terrell right there, top 5 right now.
Yeah, no shock there. You look behind him, you got Sherwood Williford. Any surprise at all to see him towards the front at the end, always keeping that thing as clean as possible, doing a great job. Tony Solari, he was in that early wreck. He's back into 7th place. Bernard Persson in 8th. My goodness, these people are recovering so much with these late cautions.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. I mean, outside of not having enough fuel to get to the end, I don't understand that, or possibly overheating.
Yeah, it's a great call. I mean, there's got to be something. There just doesn't make no sense to come in unless maybe he was going to blow up. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me, Brad. I mean, glad you brought it up. Maybe something like that, because just pitting, nobody else is pitting. They already did.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I can't think you're going to overheat. You just ran 30 laps without pitting.
It's very true. I don't know. It's really different. But here we go. Furlan and Rupert, Held and Coy, and we're going to see Furlan choosing the high side here. He's seen what Carr's been able to do.
Green, green, green.
Green flag down and away. Furlan a little slow there on the start. Rupert allowed to claw back in here underneath him. We'll see as we head down into corner number 1.
The 3 wide already. Jared Carr to the inside. 3 wide going in the corner 1 there, though.
Carr down low, but up front, Furland holds him off. Here comes John Held on the high side. Here comes Bobby Terrell putting it 3 wide. My goodness.
Old tires, fresh tires. You see that right now. Bobby Terrell to the inside. He's going to be on the inside of Sherwood Williford. Right now, they're double stacked. Right now, Furland being able to pull away as Rupert's dealing with the 29 to John Held. Bobby Terrell, 33 of Sherwood Williford there. So these guys put up one heck of a fight. If we could just stay green, I think Furland might have a shot at the victory here.
Oh, Furland's got a shot, all right.
All right, man. Caution.
Oh, and caution, Jared Carr. Let's get a look in on the replay. Carr heading down into the corner, staying low underneath Tony Solari. Dives in pretty heavy here. Oh, and he breaks loose. It's a shifting mistake. And it's going to be a solo incident. He's going to lose a ton of spots here. But Carr, with a shifting mistake, cost him all that track position.
We've seen it all night. Bad decisions leads to impatience, leads to more bad decisions. And unfortunately, it's a racing incident. I mean, you're trying to get everything you can, and you're on such a razor's edge with low air pressure, and you're just trying to do too much at that point because he knows he should be in the lead right now.
I'm speechless at this moment, Brad. We've seen a lot. You spelled it out perfectly. You know, how patience or lack thereof from poor decision making can lead to these things. We've all done it, but we're seeing a lot of it here tonight. And, you know, as these playoffs come closer and closer, and once they begin, I think, you know, the pressure is going to mount. We could see more of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely can. And you know, these guys were playing with house money. I mean, Furland, he's in. You know, Jared Carr, he's in. If he thought that was the best way that he could get and secure the victory, I'm fine with that. I mean, he's not going to be out. He's going to be in the playoffs no matter what. He's had a great season so far. But what this does is this, you know, slows the momentum, if you will. It's going to be that one that he looks back on it, he's like, damn it, I should have had a couple of extra bonus points going into it. And that could be ultimately the end of the season, you know, the difference, if you will. I'm not going to second guess it. You know, I'm not behind the wheel by any stretch of the imagination, but it's one of those deals where we've seen all night that you can just get yourself, as far as your head, out of the race by making a bad decision, and then it compounds throughout it.
Wow, it does indeed. So much to discuss here, but I mean, up front, Rupert's got another shot. Held has got a win this season. I don't think he's got a shot at getting into the top 25. I believe you got to be in with a win. But he could get a second win here. You got Terrell up here on fresh rubber. Williford's up here. I believe he's got fresh rubber. So a lot could happen here. We're on 5 to go. Would be, what, 4 to go when we go green, I believe, Brad. This is going to be something.
Well, you know, speaking of that, you know, John Held came into this race 40 points out of the top 25. And the 2 people he's racing to get into the top 25 aren't even in this race. So that's not necessarily a situation that can't happen.
Wow, that's huge. If he could just hold on here for this points night, he's going to gain a substantial amount of points. He will be able to race his way in at Daytona. That would put someone out. I mean, I don't know if it's Flanagan on the bubble, but wow, this is shaking things up.
Yeah, right now it would be Flanagan and then McDaniels and Torgerson. So right now, for the drivers not locked in, Torgerson would be in the best position. McDaniel would be a couple of points back, and then Flanagan.
So this is huge. John Held really doing everything he can out here to work his way into this playoffs. Great job by him, part of the Flying Tigers Motorsports. And we're going to be on 3 to go when it goes back to green, but really happy for Held, and we'll see what he can do at Daytona. Man, there's going to be a lot on the line in that race, Brad.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you're in, I mean, the guys, the top 25, I got to, like we talked about earlier, Spear is one of those guys that I sit there and think about, Sherwood Wolford, some of these guys that they have a legitimate shot here. I mean, we're going to come 3 to go here. I'm not sure that this is going to be the last restart even.
No, you can't be sure of that. We've seen too much here late in this race, but here we go. Some entertaining things to happen. Furlan going to start on the high side once again. Rupert will be down low. You got Bobby Terrell, John Held, Williford, Coy. That's your top 6. Richet's up there looking for a good points night. Adam Newton made his way into the top 10. Here we go. Pace car off the track. We're about to go green flag racing.
Green flag, green flag.
It drops. Rupert a little bit off of Furlan. That's going to allow Furlan to head down into the corner clean. And they're going to allow Bobby Terrell to challenge for second place. Terrell with a fresh rubber with a massive entry. Wow. He is circling that high side. Going to come up right towards Furlan now. Can Bobby Terrell, we're on 3 to go, coming down to 2 to go. Bobby Terrell, late in the race, once again, Brad, looking to get up here and steal this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at that truck, one thing that you notice, not a dent on it. I mean, and that's exactly what you need. You need to be able to make sure you take care of your truck this entire time. 44 is probably the next closest truck to him as far as being clean. Before we start getting into a little bit of demo derby.
Oh no!
All right, man.
Held!
Caution is out.
Held is wrecked. Oh. I seen it happen at the back. We didn't switch to it, but let's get a look at it. You see Manix Richet still peeking down low. He's not there. Comes down on entry, dives it in, and just makes contact with the 29. Coy's in him. They're 4 wide. After that, John Held was having such a race. Unbelievable.
Now, mind you, I mean, we were dealing with cars, or I should say trucks up here with old tires. Plenty of guys came in and took tires. I mean, that's one of those deals that you just feel for. And John Held having a great run. Playing the strategy game, one more lap and he would have cashed in. But at the same time, now you got to worry. Furlan's going to be sitting out there. One more lap, he locks this thing up. Right now, Bobby Terrell, he's looking pretty good.
Man, Bobby Terrell, points leader, got multiple wins here in the truck series. He is in great position to come up here and steal one. Furlan's got to be thinking, what can I do to hold this guy off on this fresh rubber? I mean, every race, it's always, we come down here and that 4 truck is here at the end, either winning or threatening to win, Brad. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be all about the restart. I mean, if Furlan's able to get clear and get by, I think he's got a good shot at it. But I'm not 100% sure. Furlan might be having a little bit of connection issue.
And Carr has worked his way back up to 8th. You got Newton out here. He's having a nice run. It's a big night for the number 3 of Adam Newton. In front of him, Sherwood's up 13 spots. He's in 6th. Coy still fighting from that early damage. He's in 5th. Manix Richet in 4th. Then it's Rupert, who has fallen to 3rd, with Bobby Terrell taking over 2nd. But our leader, Claude Furlan, trying to hold on here late with a green-white checker coming. I mean, this is going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say that this will be the last restart he's got to deal with, but I'm not 100% sure about that one.
I'm pretty sure I heard that somewhere before. I'm having deja vu up here, Brad.
Yeah, so is Claude Furlan.
but I'm pretty sure this is the official last green-white checker attempt
You're
here.
right. You're right.
So,
Absolutely.
so any flag will end this thing, and Furlan's got to realize that too, because there's a high likelihood of a caution. You've got to get out here, get a good lead, and try and lead at least those first couple of corners. First lap even. Oh my goodness.
Now he does have one thing to his advantage. I think Furlan will take the outside. I mean, he's got a little bit of older tires, so I think he's going to have a little bit better shot running the top side, especially on exit. And for the most part, I think he's got a better shot because of who's going to be on the bottom. And Bob Terrell, he's going to put it down and he's going to try to get everything he can on the bottom. But he's not going to be one of those drivers that goes, okay, 8 wheels is better than 4 as far as making it through the center of the corner. He's not going to rough him up, I don't think. He's got, very well respected, very gentleman drivery, if you will. So I think Furlan has to actually use that to his advantage and somewhat put Bobby in that situation where he makes him choose whether he's going to rough him up or not.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way you're thinking, but Bobby, as gentlemanly as he is, you might say, he is a stone cold killer at the end of these races. He smells that victory, he's going to go for it. So I don't know, but yeah, you might be right. Like, pinch him down, make him make that decision. I think Bobby might back out. Tough calls all around. We're going to find out.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, let's just change the front row here. You put Rupert down there on the bottom? Nah, don't be doing that. I mean, and that's not anything against Rupert or anything. That's just a matter of, the guys that need it. Bobby Terrell, he doesn't need this victory. He really doesn't. Would he love to have it? Absolutely. But he's not dying to do it. I mean, he knows he's points leading. He's not going to jeopardize second necessarily. For a move like that, and I think that's to the benefit right now of Furlan, and he has to recognize that, but at the same time still respect that the Four is here to win a race.
He's here to win. They're all here to win. Furlan gonna lead them down. Furlan and Terrell, Richer and Rupert, Williford and Coy. Here we go.
He will have teammates on that outside. Maybe the 60 will be able to get up there and give him a little bit of a push.
Green.
And there we go. Green flag down and away. Great start by both leaders here. Bobby down low. Furlan up high. Bobby sends it in there. He's got the fresh rubber. He's going to beat him through the corner. Can Furlan come back? He does. Gets a big run on the outside, and they're wrecking. This is for the win. Furlan going to be your race winner, I believe. We'll see how scoring comes out, but I think Furlan was there at the caution, and that's going to give it to him. While they sort that out, let's get a look in on what happened.
And you saw that too, because had Bobby just stayed in it and just really pushed the issue, he would have jumped up into the 44 and had contact.
So it looks like Adam Newton and the 91 of Kenneth Schultz. So they're coming underneath. Newton coming underneath. Lots of room here, but Sherwood's up high, slow. And I don't think Newton realizes that the 91 can't get up to the high side, and he just kind of filters up into him. So it's kind of an odd incident. I don't know if there's any real blame there. But nonetheless, this is the final lap. Claude Furlan going to come home victorious. He won a couple of races early on in the season, I believe, Brad. He was our points leader early. Here he is coming back. It was a great job by him holding off Terrell there and coming back on the outside and grabbing that lead before that caution come out. We talked about it. That's what he needed to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was the most consistent driver tonight, in all reality. I mean, Bobby Terrell was right there with him. Bobby was in the top 5 all night, but Claude Furlan was in the top 2 all night. Didn't make a mistake on pit road. Did exactly what he needed to do on the restarts and didn't make a pit road mistake, if you will. And, ultimately it paid off.
Yeah, it paid off in a big way. Unbelievable job. Let's get a look in on our race results here. You got Claude Verlander winner, Bobby Terrell in second, Mannix Richey third, two teammates from the AccentLED.com guys, Bobby from BT Racing there, Rupert in fourth, Carr battles back for a fifth place finish, Coy, Williford, Torgensen, Solari, and Person, your top 10, hangs on for an 11th there. Some of these other guys, Lane Allen falling to 14th, Spear with that damage, Flanagan 16th, Bills in 17th. A lot of things going on that have shifted this finishing order around, Brad.
Yeah, it really does. And I hate to say it, but it's going to make very interesting storylines going into a plate track that it's all about having friends and all about working together and some people might have alienated themselves tonight with with the way that they race or just incidents, and ultimately those people could be the ones that end up needing the most help next week to be able to solidify themselves into this playoff championship. So great storylines for us. It'll be very interesting.
It'll be super interesting, no doubt about it. But let's get right into our race interviews here. And we've got third place finisher, Mannix Richey. What a job, did all evening. Kept it mostly clean out there and finished third. Congratulations, Mannix.
Thank you very much. Very sorry for the 29. I don't know if I came down on him or he came up. I don't know. But I have no choice to get a podium or something like that for good points.
Yeah, it was a tough race there with the cautions at the end. A lot of contacts around the track, Mannix. But for the most part, you did a very nice job out there. It's a big points night for you. You're looking to work your way into the playoffs. Only one race left. You've got to be excited about what happened tonight with this third place finish. And you're looking forward to Daytona. Do you think you can race your way into the playoffs?
I wish so. Tonight was a first night with my new wheel. I have a direct drive wheel, and it's very, very good. I got the old steering wheel. It was a G27, was really old, and to keep up with those guys, I don't have any choice to lift up my game.
Are you saying I need a new wheel, Mannix? I race a G27. But nonetheless, I just joke around a little bit. A great job by your team. You got to be very happy. Claude gets the win. Accent LED. You have fans over on Facebook watching. They're very happy for you guys. So big congratulations. Anybody you want to thank at this point, Mannix?
Yes, of course. My team manager, Sylvain Joly, wish he was with us on the top five, but he don't have any good night for him. It was sorry for him. And Accent LED and Claude, former teammate. Good job.
All right, Brad. That's our third place finisher, Mannix Richey.
Absolutely, he did a great job. But right now, I'm standing by with our second place finisher. That's going to be that four. That's going to be Bobby Terrell. Bobby, I mean, it's no stranger to the booth here. It's kind of strange, actually. You in second place, not winning it. I mean, 5 wins on the season, 16 top fives, 20 top tens. I mean, this has been your year. You've dominated the entire series. Tonight was no different. It seemed like you were in the top five all night tonight. Didn't really put a dent on that racetrack. What did you need to really be able to solidify yourself and really challenge for the win tonight?
A fast truck. I guess it's better to be lucky than fast, but my truck wasn't as fast as everybody else's, but I had some luck and stayed out of trouble and put it in second. I really think if they'd stayed green real long, I think I could have won just because I was on fresher tires. But like I said, I'll take it. It's been a good season.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that you're wrong. I mean, if it stayed green, I think you'd have had a very good shot at being able to take over that lead and really challenge for the win tonight. But I mean, the season, you talked about it yourself. Great season so far. 5 wins going into it. We're going into Daytona next week. You got to sit there and think that, with your lead that you have a 96-point lead. You're locked into the playoffs. You're a shoe-in no matter what. What kind of chance are you going to take next week? Are you going to be racing for the win, or are you just going to kind of bide your time, just wait to get into the playoffs?
No, race for the win. That's what it's all about.
Couldn't said it better myself. And plate tracks is where it's going to be. And next week, anybody from a Spear to a Flanagan to even John Held be able to take that victory. All of a sudden, they're going to be in their self. You know, upset some big players at the end of this roster as far as the 16 going into it. So. It's going to be a situation where you might look to help a teammate more, get them into the playoffs, or is it just going to be every man for himself?
Well, for me, it's every man for himself.
Wow, yeah, obviously.
I'm on no team, but anyhow, I mean, I think it's like I said, Daytona's going to be wide open. It's um, anybody's. I mean, anybody can win there. So I haven't looked at the playoff picture, who's in 16th or whatever, and who can sneak in. But it's wide open.
It really is. And, we say this week in and week out. And I mean, you're one of the best out there as far as car control. You take care of your equipment, and you do everything you need to do to come home in a good situation. And you did it again tonight. You do it week in and week out, and it's very impressive to watch. And, good luck next week going into Daytona. A lot of people hate that place, if you will, and it can upset something. But you're locked in. You've had a great season. Congratulations on a second place finish tonight. I'm just going to turn it over to you. Let you thank anybody you need to thank.
Thanks a lot there, Brad. Just the league, all the admins in the league, everything that they do, and just you guys up in the booth for the broadcast, and Blackwater Products for sponsoring the series. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have a series, wouldn't have a place to race. So just thanks, guys.
Absolutely, couldn't say it better myself. And thank you, Bobby, and good luck next week. Congratulations on second place finish tonight. But right now, I believe Dean, you're standing by with the winner of tonight and the man of the hour.
Yeah, I got the 44 Claude Furland race winner here at the Gateway 125. Congratulations, Claude.
Thank you, guys. It's very fun race tonight.
Man, was it? It was a lot of fun out there. And, you're back in victory lane. It's got to be feel nice to get this one. Man, did you have some battles. Let's start with the early battles. Your battle in Jared Carr. He was awful tough out there, especially when he was on the high side.
Yes, Jared is a little bit more fast, more fast for me. And when he go to the pit, I want to hold my position. I take a chance. I think the yellow for the finish is very good for me, and that's it. I'm very happy.
Yeah, it was an odd decision. We should have got a word with him because we're not sure why he chose to pit there. But nonetheless, that allowed you to get up there. You take the outside against Bobby Terrell. Bobby's got fresh rubber. Man, he is tough to beat. We thought maybe you had to, beat him through a couple of corners because a caution could come out. It does. You managed to get him on off the corner there just in the nick of time. You have to be thrilled about that.
Yes, start the restart outside is a little bit good, and I don't know if don't the yellow for the finish. I don't know if Bobby a fresh tire, and I think he's very fast, a little bit more fast for me. It's very hot for the finish.
Yeah, I mean, he was going to be almost impossible to beat him if we went 3 laps. I mean, if anybody could do it, it would have been you. But Bobby had that fresh rubber, and he's such a good driver. But you did everything you could to get that nose back out in front of him. That grabbed you this victory. It was awesome. You're all locked in. You got more playoff points. We got some fun next week at Daytona, of course. But for tonight, Claude, you're our champion. Back in victory lane. It's been a little bit, man. So happy for you. Happy for your team there. And anybody you want to thank, now's the time.
Okay, thank you. And thanks for my sponsor, Sylvain Joly, Accent LED. Sylvain worked the setup every week, and it's a very good tonight. Thanks for my partner and Manix Richer. I have a very good team.
Brad, you heard it. The team, they do. They have a great team. We call them rookies. They're not really rookies. They race like professionals. Great bunch of guys out here, and we expect more out of them. And next week, Daytona could be big for that team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Next week being all about the teams and really working together and those guys the entire season really have really worked well together. I believe two out of the three, if you will, are already locked into the championship or possibly, if you will, locked in the championship. But there's a lot of guys that are going to be here next week that are going to contend for that, and they could possibly sneak in. I mean, 16 are locked in supposedly, but we got 25 that could possibly get in, as far as an additional 10 can get in with just a victory next week. So next week is really going to be the crucial point.
It's going to be huge. Of course, we'll have the coverage right here on Full Throttle TV next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Make sure you check it out. We've got a full slate across the board here. So always come look for us. These races usually at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come check us out. But for myself, Dean Doucette, and for Brad Patterson, that's going to wrap it up. We'll see you right here next time on